Things getting heated at Yale University, where students are demanding action against administrators who fail to speak out against offensive Halloween costumes.
These freshmen come here, they think this is what Yale is? Do you hear that? They're gonna leave, they're gonna transfer because you are a poor steward of this community. You should not sleep at night. We're out, we out. You're disgusting.
Yep, really tolerant. They are upset with faculty members like that man who said students should be allowed to wear whatever they want at Halloween. There's this thing called freedom of speech around. And anyone who's offended should just look the other way. Fox News contributor Guy Benson joins us this morning from Chicago. Guys, so what ticked off a lot of the students at Yale was an administrator who said, you know what, it's Halloween, fun holiday, wear whatever you want.
Get a grip. I mean, seriously. Think about this, Steve. These are students at one of the most, and adults, nominally at least, at one of the most prestigious academic institutions in the country. And they are in the grips of fear and loathing over a faculty member's email that very politely suggests that maybe people shouldn't totally freak out over Halloween costumes that might make them feel uncomfortable. And that's the result. Screaming that earlier in the video there's profanity. I mean, it would be funny if it weren't a little bit frightening, because it seems like we're churning out a generation of young people at the elite level who feel like their feelings are paramount, and people who step on that not only should be criticized, but in some cases lose their jobs.
Well, we should point out the man who is being yelled at right there is actually the husband of the woman who said, you know, wear anything you want. People said he was disgusting. People said he should apologize. He wasn't going to apologize. He said, I don't have to apologize for anything. And then they said, well, you know what? You should get fired. Some tolerant students they are, right?
Yeah, and if you read the email, the original email from this man's wife, it was so nuanced and thoughtful and even-handed. It was not offensive or aggressive in any way, but that's the whole point. There's this grievance industry where people are incentivized to bully and silence while wrapping themselves in the cloak of victimhood. It's just so toxic. You
know, Guy, there's a soundbite we ran just about 20 minutes ago. It's of a protest at the University of Missouri. They were calling for the top guy to get fired because they felt he wasn't doing enough to combat racism on the Mizzou campus. And we're going to just play a little confrontation here between somebody, I believe, from one of the student newspapers and the students. Listen to this.
You need to go. Yep. Students, can you tell him how much
you don't have a right to take our photos?
Yes.
You have a right to take
Okay, so there they are at the University of Missouri, which does have one of the finest journalism schools in the country. They're in an open space, and these kids are rewriting the rules. You can't take my picture here.
Right, they have their outrage. Their outrage is weaponized, trying to get someone fired, which they succeeded in, but they don't want to be asked about their outrage, and they don't want to be photographed by journalists in a public place. I mean, and this comes back to this concept, this Orwellian term, the safe space, that has been totally turned on its head. Of course we believe that college students have a right to be physically safe. They do not have a right to be protected and shielded from ideas or thoughts or images that might make them feel uncomfortable. But that's exactly the direction that we're headed in this country, with campuses being the worst. And it's not a healthy thing in a free society.
We should point out, we tried to get a hold of some of the protesters, asked them to appear. They have not gotten back to us. If they would like to email us about their safe space that they were demanding right there, email us, friends@foxnews.com. You're a friend of the program, Guy. Thank you very much for joining us this morning from the windy city of Chicago.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So what do you think about that, the safe space and everything on college campuses? Email us, friends@foxnews.com.